Hi, I'm currently standing in the town gravel pit. This is a barn that is used to house the loader in the wintertime where it is plugged in. As I turn, I believe this to be a pile of screen sand in preparation for winter. As I turn to my left, I see some piles of dirt that looks like it may have been stripped from the shoulders, maybe for future use. As I turn to my right, I see part of a screening plant or conveyor system. Keep in mind I have worked heavy highway construction and worked in many mines. Safety is a big issue. MSHA and OSHA do inspect pits, whether they be town pits or private pits. Problem I see with this right here is there's no wheel chocks. Any piece of equipment in a pit is to be wheel chocked front and back of the tires. As I walk, I see a large pile of riprap. So have to give me a minute to get to it, as I found walking around is a better method of finding issues than simply driving by them. Oh, here we go to my right. Here's a thing that is used, the ramp that is used to load the town trucks. It does seem to be out of plumb functionable, out of plumb with a lot of deterioration on the top, which I believe is a W-beam, which is a good idea to save money. I don't believe this is a good idea to have this sticking out with sharp edges on it. Here's a rock that was placed by there that is sufficient, but yeah, I wonder, is it safe? Let me walk this way. I do notice as I'm walking by the loading ramp for the trucks in the wintertime, there's a lot of loose sandy material. As I was turning around in here, which most people know, sand will make your vehicle chatter as you try to move in it. That should be an issue looked at as far as trucks coming in and out, taking off, loading, as chattering can break axles. This may seem to be anal, but this stuff should be known by a highway superintendent and thought of. Any possible thing that can help should be thought of. I don't believe that would be an expense to the town, as I do see a pile of white rock that I believe is used to mix a mulch. This could be placed in front of the loading ramp for some sufficient compaction where trucks continually come in and out. Or here is some leftover stone, which I believe may be from chip projects. Some of this could easily be scraped up, placed in the front of that loading ramp. If it seems that I'm being overbearing with some of this, please bear with me, as I do make valid points that can save money. Here is a substantial amount of rock that I believe has come off of the town projects, which I suspect is for future use where it can be used. Let me take a break as I walk closer to the face of the pit. On my way to the face of the bank where the sand is currently being screened, I come across these slabs of concrete. I do have a very creative mind. As I pass the issue of the loading ramp, being fine sand, I wonder if it would be worthy of placing these in front of the ramp where they could be sufficiently scraped off by a loader, where a good compaction for the trucks would be established. As I talk on this video, you may think that I'm slow when I talk, but there are many things that cross my mind as I'm walking. As you can see, this is where I tried to turn around with my pickup, which my rear end severely shattered. Here we have a rubber tired excavator, so-called drop. Many different names have been used to distinguish these machines. So give me a second to get here. This is the town's current rubber tired excavator. As in my video earlier, I was explaining some things with equipment. As I walk around this, I'm taking a general look at it, which does seem to be a not bad looking machine. Here's a light that's out, some wires. I don't believe that would affect the operating of the machine, other than most municipal equipment, lights are replaced in when they needed to be. Looking at the tires, this tire looks to have pretty good wear on it. Doesn't look to be unsafe. Does look like in the near future they might have to replace it. Here is a chain sitting on the lower deck of the excavator. Would be pretty easy to take that and put it in your pickup. For people that aren't honest. As you may see, this is the counterweight of this excavator. I do not see any signs that say keep clear on this side of the counterweight. I do see a slow moving sign, which is a very good thing, as this machine does not move fastly and is vigorously moved around the town. I do not see a swing area sign on this side of the machine. This is an older machine and may not have come with signs. Should signs be put on this? Yes, definitely. Looking at the other tires, these tires look to be in better shape, which I believe are on the front of the machine, which is a good thing. There is much buildup of grease and oil on this machine. As I stick my finger on the counterweight, you can see the oil. Definitely oil. Smells like oil. I'm not going to open the cab of the machine. Here is a road sign that has been put in place instead of glass. Is this sufficient for the age of the machine? Maybe. Does it provide good visibility when traveling down the highway? I'm not sure. I'm not getting inside the cab. Here's the bucket. Looks like hard facing has been done. These buckets get very much use throughout the course of a summer, and when needed in wintertime for certain situations. I do not see a lot of grease. As you may have noticed on my machine, there was a sufficient amount of grease coming out. As I wipe my finger, you can see, where's my finger? Hello, there it is. This is a mixture of sand and grease. When machines are not greased regularly, sand and dirt get into the pins and bushings, causing a lot of wear. I recently called Vantage Equipment to get a quote on a set of pins and bushings for my machine, which is very similar size pins and bushings as this machine. From the bottom of the bucket all the way to the curl cylinder top arm for all the complete bushings and pins and shims was $3,400. My option has been to choose to take my pins and bushings to a local machine shop. We're in Potsdam, where Steve Dion is a very fine machinist and has quoted me a price of $1,500. That includes the boring and bushing of the buckets also. Here again, there are no chocks on the tires of the screener. I do see some information here. Let's see. Push, raise machine, pull, operate conveyor. Well, that's good to see. As I look, this is the hydraulic tank. I cannot distinguish by the amount Oh, there we go. I can see it now. Yeah, it is full of hydraulic oil. Here's a fuel tank with a fuel cap. It looks like to be at one time had a locking mechanism on it. This should definitely have a locking mechanism so that vandalism or theft of fuel would be minimized. Here's a battery that goes to the machine with the mount that holds the battery not properly in place. MSHA and OSHA love these things, and they like to write tickets. Again, you may think that I'm going above and beyond. I have been a highwayman for 20 years. I'm sorry, 19 years. Another thing with this machine is I'm glad to see that there are guards in place. When I took my M-Shaw training, when I worked on the Fort Drum corridor bypass that Lancaster Development built, as they were the low bidder, which is how contractors obtain their work, by being the low bidder. I had to take the mine safety class to work in Barrett's pit, as we moved much material out of there for the road. Again, these wheels are turned, but are not chalked. Will they go anywhere? Probably not. Is it a fine? Yes. Overall, the screener does appear to be a nice machine. I don't know if I stated before, but anything with a moving part on it that is not at least 7 foot from the ground level should have guards on it. I do see a shovel. As I'm walking around. The rolls do seem to be in very good shape. This screener does screen just this material in this pit and maybe some other material. I'm not sure what the town has screened through it. Mostly I believe it to be sand, which is not as hard on the conveyor belts as what stone and rock might be. Walking around the back, I see there is a guard there. That looks sufficient. It does not look like this has been greased in a while. Not saying that it hasn't, but with my experience over the years, I don't think it's been greased lately. I do not know if they've used it. The hole is sitting here. I believe that's what they feed the screener with, so I'm going to walk back to my truck. Take a minute. I do see the spreading of some shoulder material. I don't know if this is to reclaim the pit or to mix it with existing sand. I believe it's probably to reclaim the pit, which is required. I'm now leaving the pit. There is much more I would like to show you, but I do believe I sufficiently supplied some information. On the leaving of the pit, but I would like to mention the guardrail, which does seem to be in good shape. Also, if I pause for a minute, it is because I do have many thoughts and things that I would like to say. I do see there's a lock on the gate. I know there has been problems with trash and disturbances in the pit, which is understandable to lock the gate if necessary, as it is not locked now. I do need to go get some gas. My fuel light just come on. This is getting to be an expensive video, but I do believe it's well worth it.